Hey everyone, welcome to Finance Fine Print. I'm so glad you're here today because what we're about to discuss is keeping millions of Americans awake at night, and chances are it might be affecting you or someone you love right now. Before we dive in, please hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more people who need to hear this. And trust me, after what I'm about to share, you'll want to make sure you never miss an episode. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, grab your coffee, check your phone, and then you see it. That credit card notification, the one you've been dreading. Your minimum payment just went up, again. And you realize something terrifying. Even if you stopped using that card today, even if you made every minimum payment for the next 18 years, you'd still pay back more in interest than you originally borrowed. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Right now, Americans collectively owe $1.23 trillion on their credit cards, $1,233 billion. But that number doesn't tell you the real story. The real story is happening in homes just like yours, where real people are making impossible choices every single day. Let me paint you a picture. There's a family in Mississippi, both working full-time, not buying luxuries, not taking vacations, but their car broke down. $1,200. They didn't have it, so they put it on the credit card because what choice did they have? Then their daughter got sick. Emergency room, $800. Credit card again. Now they're carrying $7,000 at 22% interest, and they know they're not paying it down. They're barely keeping up with the interest, drowning in slow motion. And they represent 46% of all credit card holders right now. Nearly half of everyone with a credit card is carrying a balance month to month. But here's where it gets heartbreaking. 23% of people with credit card debt believe they will never pay it off. Never. These are your neighbors, your coworkers, maybe your family, people who have given up hope of ever being debt-free. They've accepted this burden will follow them for life. So how did we get here? Let me tell you about the interest rate game credit card companies are playing. The average credit card interest rate is 21.4%, but if you're carrying a balance, almost 23%. New card applications, 24%. Here's what that means in real dollars. An average balance of $6,300, minimum payments only, 18 years to pay it off, and over $9,000 in interest. You'll have paid for everything twice. That emergency car repair, paid twice. That medical bill, paid twice. The Fed cut rates 3 times in 2024. Credit card rates barely moved because credit card companies have no incentive to lower your rates. They're making record profits, billions every month from people who can barely afford minimum payments. But here's what should really scare you. People are starting to miss payments, and not just a few people. Almost 7% of all credit card balances became delinquent in the third quarter of 2025. In the poorest zip codes, 20% are at least 3 months behind, 1 in 5. Mississippi, 37% delinquency. Louisiana, 32%. Alabama, 31%. Levels we haven't seen since 2008. And here's what keeps me up at night. Right now, unemployment is low. We're not in a recession. The economy looks okay on paper. So what happens when things get bad, when layoffs start, when unemployment rises? These delinquency rates could double, triple, millions defaulting at once, and when that happens, the entire financial system feels the shock. Now, some people think it's about irresponsibility. Stop buying what you can't afford, but that's not what's happening. 45% of credit card debt comes from emergencies, medical bills, car repairs, home emergencies, things people had no choice about. Another 28% is everyday expenses, groceries, utilities, childcare, gas. People aren't living beyond their means. They're using credit cards just to survive. Prices went up dramatically. Food costs more, insurance costs more, housing, healthcare, everything. But wages didn't keep up. So there's a gap between what they earn and what they need to live. And they fill that gap with credit cards because what other option do they have? 29% of Americans say they literally could not afford essential living expenses without credit cards. 1 in 3 people are one swipe away from not being able to pay for food or rent. So what happens next if nothing changes? If delinquencies keep rising, we'll see a wave of defaults. Banks will write off hundreds of billions of dollars. They'll slash credit limits, close accounts. Millions will lose their safety net overnight. When people can't put emergencies on cards anymore, families fall apart financially. And it spreads: car loans, student loans, everything. Credit card crisis leads to consumer debt crisis, credit crunch, economic slowdown, layoffs, which makes everything worse. It's a cascade. For individuals, destroyed credit scores. For years, no mortgages, no car loans, can't even rent apartments. Their opportunities disappear. And the mental toll? 39% say it keeps them awake at night. 43% say it's destroying their mental health. This isn't just about money. This is about human suffering. Look, I know this has been heavy, but I wanted you to understand the full picture. The mainstream media isn't telling you this story like this. The $1.23 trillion credit card bomb is real families making impossible choices, living with crushing stress, losing hope. If you're in debt, attack it aggressively. Pay more than minimums, look for lower rates, build emergency savings. And if you're not in debt, save, prepare, because this storm could hit anyone. That's it for today's episode of the Finance Fine Print. Hit subscribe, share this with someone who needs to hear it, leave a comment with your thoughts. Knowledge is power. The more you understand what's coming, the better you can prepare. Stay vigilant, stay informed. I'll see you next time.